You have entered the Arcade Cafe. Today we're serving Miller Lite.
Ew. I'm drinking the hard stuff.
Oh, what do you got?
An old-fashioned, made with some fine $22 Canadian rye.
Wow. That's today on a Thursday evening.
Thirsty Thursday. Well, I knew I was doing this, so I had a drink because I'm tired and a hard day. Get off my back. You listen to me, you piece of shit. What are we doing? Arcade Cafe.
You're really going off the wall just immediately.
I should have got coffee. That's what I should have did.
Boy.
Be all right. This is what the fans want.
Anyway, Caleb, I am your host, everybody, Bryce Yoli, and I'm here with my pal and cousin-in-law and more eloquent host, usually, Caleb James.
So,
here in the Arcade Cafe lies sort of a cappuccino or, say, pint-size answer to those hour-and-a-half-long episodes of the main feature of Arcade Bookshop that you may or may not have avoided. At only about 20 minutes in length, we're bringing you a weekly episode featuring our current thoughts on our video game progress, book progress, a little bit of video game news that is probably already a little old, occasional state of the podcast info, our wants, our needs, our private thoughts, our deepest, darkest secrets, and the sweet nothings that Caleb whispers in the bedroom. Yeah. That's the good part. That's the good part.
Can I make creepy noises throughout the episode?
You can do whatever you want as long as we don't go at like 45 minutes long.
I'm like a dirty squirrel in your ear.
Can I tell everybody about a nightmare, Caleb?
Yeah. Sure can.
So I had this dream that these corrupt government people, I'm reading from my phone because this happened a long time ago, but I thought it was apropos to bring up in the first episode of Arcade Cafe. So I had this dream these corrupt government people wanted Arcade Bookshop to do well because it had the semblance of being important, but was ultimately just another great distraction from corrupt government. And I told them that if it ever seems like our listeners are bought by them, I will stop this podcast immediately. And they started to put a bag over my head to kidnap me. So I was like, well, I have a lot of episodes to put out still. So they let me go. And then I realized even though they let me go, eventually they would just kill me anyway for not doing what they want. So I just woke up in a lot of anxiety. And then I texted this to Caleb, and Caleb says, I'm glad they left me alone at least.
Yeah, they didn't bother me.
I just think it's lovely and enchanting how everything that revolves around this podcast that I bring to you, you're like, well, out of my hands.
Well, the government's not coming for me, so what do I care? Well, unless I got to take up main hosting duties, then it's not really a problem.
Well, the next thing I like to talk about is kind of a state of the podcast thing. I feel as I put these episodes out, I noticed that we say so many things that are like super outdated by the time it comes out.
Like 6 months later.
Yeah. Like I'm writing this story or I got this published. Meanwhile, that was like 6 months ago. Or even like sometimes it's like current event stuff and it's just totally irrelevant by the time people are actually hearing it. So I guess just reminder that we record those main episodes of Arcade Bookshop like real far in advance. And the stuff we say about our personal lives too, it like doesn't make any sense by the time they get to your ears. So that's like one point of these weekly episodes as well as something short and easy for people to listen to as an alternative to the main episodes.
Yeah. Current news too.
Yeah. It's a little bit of every current thing we can bring to the table. So starting out, I wrote that we should talk about games that we're playing or that we want to play. So I think most recently we both were working on Sea of Stars. You're still in the middle of it, right?
I don't think I even made it to the middle of it yet. I haven't played it in like a month now. Not because I didn't want to. I've just been doing a lot of writing, and I got way ahead of myself, and now I hit like a whole bunch of deadlines that I have to finish a whole bunch of stories for.
Yeah. I beat Sea of Stars, but after that, I like dove real hard back into my writing, and that's something that's outdated in the podcasts that are coming out.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, you were giving me shit about not actually writing, and I was kind of just in a funk for a while and wasn't doing any writing. But I'm finally back at it. So next time you hear in one of our episodes that I'm being a lazy piece of shit, that era has come and gone, and I'm back on track. I've submitted to about let's see, 34 journals so far this year. I've been
Wowzers.
rejected 6 times.
Wow.
But if I want to reach my rejection goal for the year, which was 100 last year, I'm just shooting for 100 again. I have to get up to about 18 before February is over, which isn't going to happen, but maybe at the end of March I can get caught up.
Hey, I need a huge digression real quick because this is actually popular gaming news that just happened yesterday or the day before. You were talking about outdated things. Well, Sony just announced, I don't know if it was an official announcement, but they said that the PS5 is already at the later stages of the system and they're going to phase it out.
Are you fucking kidding me?
4 years and they're done with it. And it actually has less games than the Wii U, less games than the PS4. Fuck, I think every system it has less games than. Like it only what does
That
it have, like
seems
20 something games?
not very many.
But they're done with it. They're not, I mean, they might make some more games for it. But yeah, they said it's at the latter stages. It's done. They're just
that's
gonna
ridiculous. I wonder how long that transition is going to be, because I mean, I feel like they say they're done with systems, but they're still working on it for a while. Did they say they're done making games for it, or?
let me double check. But as far as I understand, they're pretty much moving on.
Damn, that's crazy. Because I mean,
That's
they went 2 years without even selling it. Really, I mean, they sold some, but they had that chip. They couldn't get that chip to make the system, so people couldn't even buy it. Like during the depths of COVID, for like the first 2 years it was out, you couldn't even really get it. And I just got mine, so that pisses me off.
no. After a disappointing quarter, Sony is getting ready to send the PS5 off into the sunset. A surprising announcement, so it was an announcement, considering how little the console has done to prove itself.
Wow.
So they're already going to be, well, the sales are slowing. So with the bad quarter, I guess they're just done with it. Yeah, so this is what they said. Sony expects the trend of the sales slowing to continue as the console enters the latter stages of its life cycle.
That makes no
It's
sense.
only been out for like 4 years. What do you mean the latter stages? What was the PS4 like? 7 or 8 years?
Most systems are 7 years.
Yeah.
So like I get the idea of slowing it down at this point. However,
they didn't make any fucking games for it though.
They didn't make that many games, and really it's only been out for like 2.5 years.
Because people couldn't get their hands on it.
Yeah. That makes no sense. And that's really irritating that I bought it. Because
breaking news: Caleb ruins Bryce's life with bad information.
Whatever. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter.
Anyway, as we were saying, you were talking about,
we're gonna have an episode on Sea of Stars, and I don't want to go into details about it because that episode could be really good.
It's a good game.
Man, that was one of the best games I've played in a very long time.
You're welcome for me recommending it.
Yeah, okay. It's a huge homage to classic RPGs. It makes fun of classic RPGs. The story is fantastic. I mentioned in our interview with Jay from Square Pegs, it is almost like flawless. It has, I mean, I didn't notice a single bug. Just smooth from start to finish. The music is incredible. I actually want to buy a record player, like a like a whatever they're called, to buy the the vinyl they put out for the soundtrack. It's so good. And I actually played the soundtrack while working at the cafe in the morning when I opened.
Aren't you fucking fancy?
So fun. Anyway, let's move on.
We only got 10 minutes left.
We're good. Is there anything that you want to play that you're looking forward to playing?
You sent me 2 games that look pretty fun. I want to play those. I don't remember either name.
Baba Is You and Return of the Obra Dinn.
I want to play those because they're neat looking. What was the other thing? I still got beat Sea of Stars. That's my main thing. And I would like to play, what was it? There was a game I was looking for. Oh, The Messenger.
Oh yeah, that's because that's the one that's related to. It's by the same production company of Sea of Stars, and they're supposed to be kind of related somehow. Yeah, I want to play that too. I downloaded that. Also, we were talking about doing, and like these are episodes that are coming out, but probably like way down the line. But we were talking about doing Stray, that cat game that's supposed to be decent, and doing that while reading Play Your Piano by Kurt Vonnegut. Could be cool.
Yes.
And I bought Resident Evil 4 remake back in like November, December, and I am really impatient to play that. I just haven't figured out when a good time is to do it.
Now, just do it now.
Yeah. Oh, also, I started playing Slay the Spire because Adam Blank from Remember the Game podcast. Listen to that if you haven't yet. He always highly recommends that all the time. It's like a deck builder game, but it's sort of like your like dungeon crawling in a way. It's just you're fighting enemies all the time, but with using cards, and you're like collecting these cards that do different things, like defense and attack and stuff. It's like really simple. There's like no story to it at all. It's just one of those. Fuck you.
I don't care about any cards unless it's Magic the Gathering. That's cool.
All right, let's talk books.
Books.
All right, our crowning achievement of the year so far.
Don't even say it. I don't want to hear about it. Oh my god, I got a brain tumor.
I know.
I don't even know if we're going to be able to do a proper episode on the Divine Comedy.
I don't know either. There's too much, and it's fucking boring.
I will, because I'm going to reiterate this all on the podcast that we officially do for this. The whiskey's giving me the vapors. I went strong on it. So the Divine Comedy, I really enjoyed it up until halfway through the Purgatorio. So when I'm literally, well, not literally, I guess, literally, I'm climbing this fucking mountain, metaphorically, and in the book,
you're climbing a mountain.
I'm just climbing this stupid mountain, and the book is also the mountain, and it's very annoying. And I am, I don't know, halfway up the mountain, I just stopped caring. Then it got really boring, and then here's just because I don't think you've got to the Paradiso yet. Fucking super boring. Paradiso turns out to be the most medieval style of the whole Divine Comedy, and the way it's written,
like medieval, like
just
more
very
like
old
barbaric,
style,
like
everything. The way it's written, it just talks about light a lot, and everything's boring, and it sucks. No good. I don't like it.
Yeah, so we actually read all of John Ziardi's translation of the Inferno and the Purgatorio, but those notes are just absolutely unbearable.
I like the notes. It's just there's a lot of things that
there's
like
a lot of Go on.
There's a lot of Italian politics of the time and references that just who cares, and there's a lot of geometry and some geometry,
Yeah.
geography talk. There's a lot of geography and a lot of astrological talk. So the sun and the placement and what time of day I don't fucking give a shit. I don't care
Yeah.
at all.
Like, I get that it's relevant in that you wanna know, like, how much time is passing
Bryce,
while
people
these events
study
are
this for
happening.
their whole lives. Why?
Yeah, I know. That that's the only th like, I mean, I
It's
get
just some
they want to know
Italian's
that
fan
stuff, but
fiction of him hanging out with his fucking favorite poet, and he goes to see his sweetie pie up in heaven. That's all it is.
Mhm.
That's all it is. But it
Yeah,
just
that's
goes
weird.
on, and it's about 2 books too long.
Yeah, for real. I will say, I I enjoyed the Purgatorio more than the Inferno. Uh,
I
I
enjoyed
mean,
half of the Purgatorio. It just
I
got too repetitive to me for me.
I thought the Inferno was I thought the first half of the Inferno was more was interesting, and I think the middle-ish I actually liked the middle of the Purgatorio, and, like, towards the end, but then the end was just super anticlimactic.
The closer he gets to heaven, the more boring it gets, and then you walk through a wall
Yeah,
of fire, and you're just like, "Oh, now we're in heaven, and we're gonna go to the moon, and we're gonna talk to some pretty ladies." Ugh.
yeah, I
Blah.
I I thought it was interesting because I didn't really know I guess I didn't actually know anything about purgatory until I read that, but
I didn't know
so I
that's what it was just a fucking very big mountain.
where everyone is, like, actually doing their final repenting
And
before
they could just
entering heaven.
easily just go to the very top. They're like, "No, I'll be here for 600 years grinding for XP for no reason." Like, just dumb
Right.
shit. Like, they don't have to. It's just like, "I repent," and they could just go, but no. No, they gotta be just. Anyway,
So,
we don't need to talk about this anymore because
I was
nobody
gonna
cares
say,
about
let's move on,
move
but
on.
I'll just say we read the first 2, and we're doing audiobook readings of the Paradiso. Caleb already finished it. I'm gonna do it like, tomorrow or something, and we're gonna be
Oh,
done
just
with
a
that bullshit.
FYI, the audiobook, the CRD version, whoever's reading it, some lady, is so dry. I ended up, by the end of it, putting it on 1.5 speed just to get through it because she just was droning on and on, no
Wow.
emotion. I'm like, "God, lady, this is worse than reading it."
Alright. Well, good to know.
Yeah, but I had to do the same translation or else it would be dumb, we couldn't talk well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to talk. We'll probably talk about the Inferno and some of the Purgatorio and nothing about heaven itself.
Well, real quick, do you have any reading goals for the year?
No, I still got finished last year's reading goals, but I finally got to go back to Don Quixote because I'm almost I got like 400 pages left.
Oh,
I
I didn't
put
know
it
you didn't
on
finish
the
that.
yeah, I put it on hold so I could read the stupid Divine Comedy, and then I looked it up. I started reading that in November, the Divine Comedy,
Yeah,
but I'm flying through Don Quixote again because it's so good. And then after reading that, it's even better. Like it's just funny, and I'm loving it. So I'm very happy to be back to a book I like. And then Spencer from the Drug and Pen Writing podcast, we just got copies of Cosmic Horror Monthly. They obviously publish Cosmic Horror. We got the last issue of that to read because they have submissions in July, and I might write a story for that.
mm,
Well, we both might write stories for that, but we wanted to make sure since it's such a specific genre, like that we get the right feel for it.
right. Okay. I had plans to read the rest of Kurt Vonnegut's Oov. So if we ever make decent headway with our episode backlog, that's something I want to dive into. I also wanted to read more John Steinbeck. Don't know. I'm sure I'll get to
You
that
should
in a
read
few
East
of
of
them, but
Eden because I think
yeah,
because I enjoyed that, and I'm not a religious freak like you who loves the Divine Comedy and crazy amount, but I
yeah,
think you'd really dig East Eden. It was really, really good.
yeah. I like Steinbeck, so I think I'll enjoy that. I
Yeah.
also I don't know if I'll get to it. I really want to try, but I also want to read at least one of the Martino Kyan books that you recommended.
You should read
Um,
Graveyard Clay, but that is one that you will need to devote some attention to because it is not an easy read, but it's really funny.
yeah, and I'm not ready for that for an
The short
attention
stories, I don't know if I
reading
don't
book.
remember if you got those, but the the short
Yeah,
stories, they're really good as well, and those are easy reads.
yeah, you gave that one to me, and I also want to read something by the Japanese guy you gave or you recommended. Well, I bought that Yukio Mishima book, Death in Midsummer, and then you also recommended something else that we could play with if we do Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Okay. New game stuff. Have you heard anything about new games?
Just the PS5 news. That's the
Okay.
only thing that's really trending. And then also, there's the new Grand Theft Auto it's been like the last couple months a lot of buzz with the trailer dropping and everything.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna play that. We'll see. I don't.
You get to be a voluptuous Latina shooting
Yeah.
people in the face.
I don't know if I want to. Yeah, maybe we'll see.
You misogynistic, sexist asshole. What, you can't be a strong,
Well,
independent Latina woman?
have you heard about? I'll gladly be whatever they want me to be. Just tell me what you want and you'll have it. I thought these were supposed to be your sweet nothings.
Uh-huh.
I did hear about, well, there was the PlayStation State of Play or whatever back on the 31st January. And the two games that stood out to me, I actually didn't watch it. I was listening to other people talk about it. But the two games that stood out to me were Rise of the Ronin, which looks a lot like Ghost of Tsushima, and also this game called Judas. That game is, from what I remember, if I remember correctly, that game is made by the people who made BioShock, and it looks kind of like BioShock. So that one, well, that doesn't come out until 2025, I don't think. But that one sounds really cool.
Can I suggest a game for you to play?
Okay.
Fear and Hunger.
You gotta.
The second one I want to play. Yeah, talk about games I really want to play. The second, Fear and Hunger, but I'm waiting on you to play the first one. Butt lick.
Why don't you play Sea of Stars and then maybe I'll play Fear and Hunger?
Why don't you play this nice wholesome game instead of the gross rapey game? Okay, Bryce. I'll play the fun, happy-go-lucky, we have campfires game.
It's only like 30 or 50 hours long.
Yeah, I'm like 4 hours into it.
Yeah, you gotta just plug at it. It's a couple hours a day.
I'm about to put all the sliders on and cheat.
You can do that if you want. Honestly, I don't even care if you don't care, just so we can talk about the story. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I wrote down that I have indie games to talk about, but I can't remember what the hell I was gonna say. So
unimportant.
Next to last point. This episode will probably be a little bit longer than the rest, just because we were introducing it. But have you seen the Apple Vision Pro?
Yeah, everybody's walking around on subways and shit with these stupid goggles on.
Dude, that is a nightmare.
You don't want your world to be artificially changed?
No, and
altered?
without going into it, since we're on minute 24 right now, I think it is the way that they're going to control our minds.
What if it makes every chick have big knockers? Is that what you want, Bryce? A world where everyone has big knockers, but they're not real. You can't touch them.
Oh,
I'm just saying, at some point, someone's going to go, this technology is cool, but it'd be more cool if we turned it into porn. And that's where the fuck it's going to go, is porn, advertisements, and hacking. And people are going to just get scammed galore. They're going to wear them while they have intercourse with their gross other significant others because, they don't take care of themselves anymore. But they'll see somebody else. And then it's just going to be a world of debauchery. And I'm not for it. Also, there is a great, it is a comic series, not a manga series. I believe I read a long time ago called Tokyo Ghost. And one of the things with Tokyo Ghost is they all wear these headsets that alter their reality. And it's exactly what I see coming. It's like you get this constant dopamine rush because you see all the shit you want to see, but around the edges of the screen is nothing but ads, just ads, constant ads, and everybody's a zombie and the world has gone to shit. And that's what's going to happen, Bryce. And I am all for it because I will be one of the ones out of the matrix. I won't be.
Me too. My thought is that because people are wearing it while they're walking around and driving, which is terrifying. My thought is that they're going to subtly add things to your vision that aren't really there without you really noticing what it is. to the point that
advertisements.
Well, not even advertisements, just like things that look like they're actually part of the your environment. Like as if something as subtle as just like adding a bush that isn't really there, or adding some kind of object that you wouldn't.
Well, can I freak you out even more? There's a Black Mirror episode where they have these goggles and they give them to the military. This is mid 2015-ish, somewhere around there. They wear these goggles and they go to these war zones and they shoot the fuck out of these big gross aliens. Surprise, the twist is they're not aliens, they're just poor innocent civilians and stuff that the goggles made look like, nefarious monsters.
Yeah, I think it's gonna make people
I can't wait.
Psychotic and
I can't
lose their
wait
minds
until
and
the
just
goddamn dystopia
obey.
future comes. It's not even the future. It is now, and I'm here, and I am ready for it. I want everything just to go terrible. I want to be on the worst timeline, and then I'm probably just die. I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna enjoy it. Hey, can I make an announcement before we go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got accepted into the spring issue of Strange Tales Zine. Or Strange Days. Strange Days Zine. It is a print book, and it looks pretty cool.
Sweet. When does that come out?
Spring. That's all it says.
Right.
I actually submitted that to a different publication that's very similar, and they completely ghosted me, and I didn't hear anything. And then I found out a bunch of other writers didn't hear anything. And I was like, well, that's kind of shitty, but maybe they're just waiting. And then they already said, well, because the book comes out March 1st, they already have pre-orders for the book. So I'm like, I guess I'm not in it, but they didn't tell anybody. So I submitted my story somewhere else because I'm like, no, this is a good story. Those people are just whoever runs that is a fucking dickhead. And surprise, surprise, he was just a dickhead. I got accepted immediately. Not immediately. Actually, it was like a month.
Well, can I make an announcement?
No, we are out of time.
I have been rejected from Poetry Online for the 8th time. Pen Review for, I don't know, the 7th time. Fomadon Review. And countless others. I don't know. Six rejections just in the last couple of weeks.
I want to talk about my rejections this year. If you're talking about rejections, I don't have actually that many. I have a lot of submissions, but no rejections. I was rejected by Cursed Morsel Zine. They didn't like why it was a themed piece. They didn't like it. Actually, you could read that story. I think it's a story. I don't remember. It's like a flash. It was like 250 words or something. It's called Broken Sky. You could read that at calebjamesk.com. I also got rejected by The Mercy Review. That was the only review I think I got rejected by this year. And I got rejected by The Dark Magazine. They didn't even read my submission because I submitted to them last year and the year before, and I got the exact word for word reply after like a day or two. Like they don't look at shit. So that is exciting, but I have been published as of now 5 print books since October. So that's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, my shelf is growing. I have like 5 or 6. I think 6 including what's that one that we haven't gotten yet?
Diabolic Press.
Diabolic, yeah.
I would be excited if I got more print books, but they haven't arrived yet. There's actually, it's not just Diabolic Press because I got in that as well. There is a few, I think it might just be if they publish, I think it's through Amazon or whatever these people are publishing through. That is where the delay is coming from, because it's a couple publications I got accepted in that are having the exact same issues. One showed the delay. It was like 7 weeks. It's like, what the fuck?
Wow, that sucks.
So, well, I'm in Horoscope Volume 4 that actually drops 5 days or something, February 20th, and I have not got my hardback edition of that, my contributor copy. That's really nice because it shipping delay. I could get the paperback. I don't want the paperback.
Well, you can talk about your hardback another time in your private, or maybe next week, and let everyone know how hard your back really is. But
wow,
at this point,
gross with it. Way to go, buddy! Family
I promise.
Show, and you're talking
nothings.
about sick, nasty. You nasty.
I promise sweet nothings, and we're a half an hour in. What is wrong with us?
What is wrong with you? You're going long. End it. Fucking end the show.
All right.
We got another show to record that's probably, actually requires attention.
All right, everybody. This has been the first.
Stupid.
This has been the first episode of Arcade Cafe. Today we had a Miller Lite, which I just finished, and Caleb had a stupid old fashioned.
Dude, I gave you like 50 cases of beer, and you're drinking a Miller Lite.
You gave me Miller Lite.
Yeah, but I also gave you a bunch of good beer.
Thank you, everybody.
Drank all those. Get out of here. Done.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to us shoot the poop. I'm your host, Bryce Yoli. This is my pal, cousin-in-law, and more eloquent co-host, Caleb James.
Indubitably.
And we'll see you next time.